2023 wrapped. I'm actually a little bit nervous. I haven't spoken about this stuff. I was struggling a bit. I think I probably pushed that to the side more than I should have. We had our biggest year, a lot more profitable and a lot more scalable. The biggest opportunity, 55 days out of my business to work on it. I wasn't the best. That sucks. Part of the reason why I didn't release this podcast episode earlier, this has led to
Welcome to Swift Coaches Academy, a podcast dedicated to bringing health and wellness professionals the uncensored truth behind what it really takes to succeed in the health industry with me, your host, Zenia Wood. As an accredited exercise physiologist and business owner for almost a decade, I'm on a mission to transform the lives of ambitious health professionals like you who want more and are ready to take action to create incredible impact in your careers and unlock financial freedom in your business. So join me as I speak candidly with industry leaders about the struggles and successes from within the trenches through thought-provoking conversations.
Oh, okay. 2023 wrapped. This episode is going to be a pretty big vulnerable share, and I'm actually a little bit nervous about recording this episode because I haven't spoken about this stuff. And I think even though I'm nervous, I think it's important to do it anyway. I'm very big in business and in life, in even though shit's hard, if it's going to help other people, then we should obviously do that and put ourselves in those positions to help grow, expand ourselves. Growth and courage are two of my big values, and I feel like doing this helps me do that, and then hopefully helps some of you guys listening as well. So I'm going to start with some personal lows and highs. I think that this can sometimes help you get to know me a little bit more. And also there's a little bit of context around this, and they obviously blend into business as well. So a couple of the personal lows we'll start with is that this year I really actually fell out of love with the gym for a while, which, being an exercise physiologist and in the health industry for literally a decade now, it's, I guess, I think a lot of people actually feel this, and I'm hoping that you might be able to relate, but especially since competing on Ninja Warrior Australia and having such a deadline and a purpose around my training and everything that I was doing, and feeling very, very focused towards that. After that finished, I feel like I really kind of lost my way with my training and was struggling to know what to do. I did a little bit of yoga. I tried some different Pilates style stuff. And I stumbled across CrossFit, and I'm still doing that now. But in terms of falling out of love with it, I think, it's probably not uncommon if you're in the gym every single day, every single week for a whole decade, that you want to try new things. And it's no secret that I've done calisthenics training, I've done sprint training, I've done rock climbing, I've done bodybuilding, powerlifting, and all of these different styles of training methodologies. And this year, just in particular, felt a little bit harder because I've actually obviously stepped back from being a coach on the gym floor, face-to-face with clients. And I always felt like my motivator was being the role model for my clients and, walking the walk. And I still do believe those things, but now that I'm not the actual coach and my focus is now on business, I feel like my version of walking the walk is more so in the business realm rather than the physical abilities and my training. So that's the first personal low. And then I guess the next one is a fair bit bigger. So I guess some days I felt pretty lost. I was struggling a bit in terms of just knowing if my direction and if my path and where I should be going. And I know that sounds really potentially odd coming from maybe what you see on social media or when you speak to me, or the fact that I run this, pretty successful multi six-figure business. And I think that it's hopefully helped some of you to realize or to understand rather that we all have these fears, doubts, insecurities, and it doesn't necessarily go away when you hit a certain dollar figure in your bank account or when you have a certain number of team members. And I guess just to normalize that's probably something that's going to happen along the whole journey, and that it's okay to not know and be super, super crystal clear on your purpose or what's driving you. But I think I probably pushed that to the side more than I should have, because I want to make sure that I am aligning what I'm doing with what I feel passionate about. And I absolutely love coaching coaches. And I know that that is something that I want to and will continue to do. But there are just some days that I just felt like, why am I doing this? And I think, the complexities of business, and not why am I doing business, but just why, all the little intricacies, and do we need all these things, and all the, I guess, bloat that happened in our business in terms of all this extra shit that we were kind of doing, and lacking clarity or direction. I think that probably stemmed from that. And I feel like some of that turned into a bit of personal resistance in terms of doing the work or showing up every day. And I feel like towards the end of the year, I wrote an email out. Some of you may have read that, in terms of me just getting sick of my own excuses, and just knowing that even though this year was the best year on paper in business, I personally know that I could have done better. I could have gone bigger. I could have created more impact in the world in 2023. And I guess I hope by sharing this that maybe you can relate. Maybe you're taking the plunge in business. Maybe you went backwards in business. Maybe you're still treating your business like a side hustle, and that there's more that you have to give. But I guess, yeah, sharing that in terms of, I don't really know what the answer is there, or if that's helpful at all. But I guess part of what I am committed to doing is being more vulnerable and open, and sharing the lows and the highs inside of what it is like to run multiple businesses and how that works. Yeah. So I hope you took something from that. But let's move on to the personal wins. This is a last minute entry, but probably the most important one. I got Taylor Swift tickets. Which is literally the highlight of my personal year. My boyfriend got them for me, actually, and I literally cried myself to sleep a couple nights when I didn't. For those of you who don't know yet, Swift Movement Academy and Swift Coaches Academy, the businesses I have, were named after her. And so I am somewhat obsessed. To be, I guess, is an understatement. But getting those tickets was freaking huge for me. I was the one who, in 2008, I think, almost got tickets at the Tivoli, which is a really small venue in Brisbane. And she stayed back and gave everyone bangles and signed everything. So I'm an OG fan. And to potentially miss out on those tickets was something that was pretty devastating for me. So I have scored some tickets, and I am so fucking grateful for that. The next personal win is investing in property development. So I bought a piece of, with a group of people, a piece of land, which basically is so that I can have a portion of, basically, this guy is a property developer, and it's not buying a house or anything like that. It is residential. So what will happen is they basically buy this big block of land, then they subdivide it and turn it into ready to purchase house and land packages for people to buy. And basically it's just me diversifying the way that I am investing now, with the money that I have. With inflation going up and way more than any sort of interest rates and things, it's so silly for us to keep our cash in the bank, because it's only depreciating, it's going down. And yeah, with the cost of living increasing more than the cost of the cash is depreciating, we want to make sure that we're putting our money into things that will grow, as one of my mentors says, money babies. So investing my money into things that make me more money is something that I am really looking into, especially in the last 12 months. And I also invested more in stocks, and I did that through my business, which I didn't actually really know how to do, but I invested in a business mentor, or I guess a money mentor, who helped me do this and taught me about stocks and a little bit more about investing. Was already investing personally in stocks, but something else that I have added to now. I thought I wanted to purchase a third investment property, but decided to diversify instead, and also have my cash be a little bit more liquid, because obviously you buy a house, then it's locked in, and to take that money out or to sell that house is just a huge process. And being 30 and not really knowing yet, where if I want to, move overseas for a while, or buy a family home and things like that. I think that my stage of life, I'm looking at having that money absolutely help make money babies, but also to invest it in places that I can pull it out of if I need to or would like to. So couple personal wins there. I mentioned before I started CrossFit about 4.5 months ago. I honestly feel like what I've learned from that, a couple of things. Your environment is so fucking important. I remember the first day that I walked in, I completed my first session, and then I went to leave the gym, and everyone else walked into the other gym area to go and do extras. And I was like, oh, am I supposed to be doing extras too? That was the standard or the norm. And I find it so interesting because oftentimes you may, let's say, be in a gym class and everyone leaves early, or they don't finish the stretching part and things like that. And our environment is one of the easiest things to help change and shift our beliefs or our ideologies, because I immediately was like, oh, am I supposed to do extras as well? And I think when we are surrounding ourselves with people who maybe are just putting in the bare minimum at work or things like that, then we tend to gravitate towards that naturally. There's so many studies saying, if you sit next to someone who's a low performer, you become a low performer as well. So changing your environment if you are stuck or struggling, and being in a room of high performers or people who are doing extras, or being where you are going, where you want to go, I think is crazy important. Did that a lot with some mentoring and stuff that I've done myself recently as well. And I also think it's just the best thing for me first thing in the morning. I often wake up to all these messages from overnight with fires and problems that I have to sort out. And if I leave my phone and don't look at it until after my training session, I feel like I've crushed the day. And if I can, do 1,000, maybe not 1,000, if I can do 100 burpees and all these other exercises, and I can complete that, then I feel like I can absolutely tackle one complaint from someone or a message or something that might be a little bit more jarring had I woken up and not done exercise and got the endorphin rush early. So that's a huge win for me. And then I also spent 55 days, I counted it just before, out of my business to work on it. So that's 11 working weeks for you playing at home. And this included things like neuro-linguistic programming. There was money mindset, wealth building courses. I did speaker training. I did leadership events. There was so much. There was brand building. Speaking events actually came of that speaker training as well. And it was really, really the first time that I've actually stepped out of my business that much and in that big of a way to work on my own personal and professional development. And we had some pretty great business success as a result of that. And obviously, yes, I had a team to help support me to make that happen. But also, I think I made that happen because I knew I was committing to all of these business and mentoring and development things as well. And I don't think that I would have pushed myself to build the team and the resources and whatnot for me to be able to step out like that had these events not been in my calendar. So jump before you're ready is a huge mentality of mine. I think that that was an incredible opportunity to spend 55 whole days. And these were 8 a.m. till 10 p.m. days, not short days at all, working on my business. So I'm really grateful for that. And those are all for my personal highs and lows. Moving into the business lows, I like to start this with something my mentor says: the faster you go, the more bugs you hit, but it's okay because bugs are protein and they help your muscles grow. I love this because I am someone who does go fast and who recognizes that when you do that, you are going to hit bugs along the way and shit's going to break and you're going to have to fix it and pick up the pieces and keep going. my mentality, I would prefer to do that than to be going so slowly that you almost feel restricted or held back because everything has to be perfect. Or you wait, like I did previously, like 5 years to put out a course and then realize, why the fuck didn't I do this sooner? So keeping that in mind with the business lows, I know that these are lessons. And so I should probably call them lessons, not lows. But I guess some of the lessons I had then were 3 staff leaving. And while they all left to pursue different careers in different areas, and it doesn't make it any easier. And I think the biggest thing here is that one was someone who I hired to be a general manager to take over my role in Swift Movement Academy in our rehab business. And the other was my 2IC and business operations manager. And while obviously any staff member leaving is really hard, I think and I can sort of justify and say, yeah, they went to do other careers and things like that. But I also know I wasn't the best boss for them all of the time. And that sucks to recognize that, but I also think it's important. And I think that this has led to a lot of self-reflection, and also part of the reason why I didn't release this podcast episode earlier, because I guess I was probably still am processing some of this stuff. And it just really makes me reflect on the importance of the people in your business and making sure that they feel valued, and making sure that they're communicated with, and making sure that everyone's on the same page as well. And, I started out as an exercise physiologist. I don't have a HR degree. I'm not, in that back-end people management side. And I'm really in a steep learning curve. And I appreciate all the lessons it has and continues to teach me. But yeah, it's always shitty when people leave, regardless of whether it's as a result of you or them just moving on. But yeah, I think that's been hard, and that's been a huge change and huge challenge for me. That has also meant that I took a huge step backwards very recently. So I'm currently managing all 4 different arms of the businesses that we have. And I am taking 100% of the sales calls. I'm doing all staff development. I'm back in the gym, doing onboarding and things like that. And so there's a huge increase in the current amount of hours that I'm working, which I get and is okay and is part of the process. But that has been a bit of a lesson as well, coming back in. It's also good to see, right? You step back, you let other people sort of run things. Stepping back in, I have gone, oh wow, I didn't hand this off very well, or why was that happening, or who made the decision for this, or why aren't we doing something this way? And I actually feel like that time away and then coming back with fresh eyes was really helpful for me. And there's going to be a fair few changes we're making as a result of that, which I'm pretty excited about. Couple other lessons. I feel like I obsessed over spreadsheets and creating systems and processes and automations. And while yes, absolutely, that is a huge plus, I think that it was sometimes at the detriment of spending time with the humans who make all of this possible. So that's not just staff, but clients and I guess all the team who are involved in it, and making sure that they are really feeling loved, feeling appreciated. And, as the team gets bigger, we have a team of 10 right now. So making sure that even if I'm not directly overseeing people are still feeling acknowledged or appreciated, or, for their hard work, or for the things that they're doing, or the achievements that they make. And I think that sometimes, particularly my learning style is looking at the 1% that was could be improved, rather than 99% that was really great about what happened, and recognizing that as the leader, I really do need to be making sure that the people who are working with me and the team are feeling appreciated for the incredible effort that they are going to above and beyond what is expected. Cool. So those were the lessons from business, and then our highs or our wins. I definitely classify this first one as a win. I spent over $150,000 on little interruption to this episode. If you are loving what you're hearing so far and you're thinking, I want some more support with my business, I feel like I'm struggling, I'm, spinning my wheels, I'm not getting at where I want to be as quickly as I would like, then I would strongly encourage you to have a look at our 12-month business mentorship. Now, this program is honestly life-changing for the people who jump in and sign up. We have taken people from zero to their first 100,000 in less than 10 months. And we've also taken people from sole trader to scaling their business through systems, through automations, getting their time back and loving what they do, increasing their profit margins, all through this program. Now, this is not just your regular course and tick and flick DIY. Yes, there are so many different little micro lessons and videos. There's downloadable worksheets, practical activities, and behind the scenes conversations of me giving exact advice of what I have done and what I would suggest for so many health professionals just like you. Also, for a limited time only, we have so many templates, workbooks that we are just handing out. There's so many live recordings of previous calls, so you can go in and digest all of those. And we have practical masterclasses and guest masterclasses as well. So you get not just me talking through specific strategies, but guests who are experts in their field. There is so much involved in this. I didn't even mention the fact that there are one-on-one calls, regardless of what level of mentorship that you jump in and work with us doing. And I cannot wait for this for 2024. We start officially on Feb 5th, but you want to get your application in ASAP because there are only a couple of spots available. So if you're interested, the link is in the show notes. And now back to the show. I spent over $150,000 on mentorship in the last 12 months alone. And that is something that I am super proud of, to be able to even do that or say that. It feels wild. Like Zenia 8 years ago would have been like, what? It's like 2 salaries. But that has been something that I think is so underrated and undervalued by a lot of people. And I was speaking to one of my mentees recently, and we're talking about, I was like, it's not, mentoring for me is not a need. I think when you've been in business a while, it's not something that you need to have, but holy hell, is it like an accelerator in business? And does it help you like go like rocket fuel and 10 times as fast, and opens your eyes to new opportunities. And I just am so confident that I would not have been where I am or feel now mentally as good about where I am had I not had the mentors who continue to support me in different areas on different things, have the confidence and have the belief, because those people are backing me, seeing what I do and where I am. And so that is a huge win. I also think that the people you meet and network with and create business partnerships with inside of these like mentorships or masterminds or whatnot are absolutely worth the cost of entry alone if you know how to create strategic partnerships, which is something I'm looking to do a lot more in 2024. And it's just, there are so many opportunities when you create win-win scenarios, whether it's with a client and yourself as the business owner, or business and other business owners creating something together and collaborating. I think that that is really what is going to skyrocket so many businesses versus everyone trying to go it alone. And it's kind of like dog eat dog, which is the scenario that I was in when I first started. And I felt like it was every person for themselves. And when, I have collaborated with people and brought them in and had them, create something together, then we've both been able to grow and win as a result. And the clients get better results as a result of that. So I think, mentorship has been one of my big business wins, and being able to do that, bring other people along for the ride too. Some of my mentees got to see the insides of that. And, those were people who worked really hard, and some of my staff members as well, which I'm really proud to be able to pay for mentoring and have them come along and do that as well. Another big one is I started this podcast. So it's like, it's probably its first birthday anniversary coming up pretty soon, which I'm excited about. And I think what I learned from this is that long form content is such a game changer. There are so many times and moments where I think that we can be creating strong relationships, building trust with potential clients through long form content, whether that's written, audio, or video. I think that there's so much value in that because we can obviously cut long form down into short form content and repurpose that, which is a huge time saver. And with AI and the technology at the moment, it is so quick and easy to do. It's ridiculous. But also I think that, you build such strong relationships with long form content, even if it is a one-way dialogue, in a way that people really feel like they know, like, and trust you before they even, apply to work with you. So that's a huge lesson. And I would strongly encourage you pick a platform, or rather pick a medium. So written, audio, or like video, and go all in with that to create content and help put stuff out there for your people to learn more about you. The next thing that I did was, and this one, while the dollars isn't huge for us in our business, I think it's important because of the fact that it proves that I'm still doing what I'm teaching. So I sold out a new course in 7 days, which was called 5K in 90 Days, Launch Your First Group Offer. And this was an exclusive invite only to some of our current mentees. And in just 7 days, we capped it at 6 people. I sold that out, and that brought in $19,746, which is great. And I'm so appreciative for that. I think for me, where I'm at in business, the best thing about that is that I sold that out before I created it. And this has been the system that has worked for me and most people I know who create courses and content since day dot. So my very first course ever was the educational mentorship. And we sold that out. I think it was like $63,000 in the first ever round and intake that we did that. And I sold it out before I created more than like 2 weeks of the content. I had a skeleton, I had a framework. If you've heard any podcasts from me before on this topic, I do talk about jump before you're ready, or, make sure that you sell it before you create it. Because if you create something and spend so much time and then no one wants it, there's so much time that has been wasted when marketing seems to be the issue, not the content and the course content. So I think that is, it is something that I'm already teaching and something I will continue to teach in 2024 in a much bigger way for health professionals who are, at full capacity or close to full capacity, and who are looking to create a more scalable product or service. Because I know the time for money trap. I know how hard that is. And I think that having a niche and having some sort of scalable product where you can educate en masse and you can give so much value to more people at once, and have it be scaled so that, content's pre-recorded, or you are able to systemize that in a way, it just benefits everyone. And it helps to create a life where you can actually have the lifestyle you want, not be on the gym floor for 12 plus hours a day. And I'm really excited to dive into that in a deeper way in 2024. I also won some entrepreneurs awards this year, first time ever, which is pretty cool. I won a multiplier award, which means one of our businesses multiplied. And then also won another award with our newest business, which was only created last October, so October 2022. And it's been 14 months that it's been in existence, and it hit 6 figures this year, which I was super stoked about. And the reason I got the award for that was because I wasn't needed in this business at all. So I literally sort of created the idea of it and got my business manager to go and execute on that. And then this is a business called Swift Assist, where we basically connect health business owners to virtual assistants. We train both the business owner up and the virtual assistant up as to how to work together collaboratively. And we have systems and processes and so much in place. You basically get business mentoring as well as a virtual assistant in your business doing the things that you need to take off your plate so that you can bill more hours or maybe create a scalable product. But you shouldn't be doing those low-level tasks in your business. And so while I'm not a fan of saying anything is passive income, this is probably as close as you can get, because I was literally discussed, the idea behind it, and then like, hey, why don't we do this or that? But I wasn't needed. I didn't have to pay any payroll or anything for the VAs in that business. I didn't have to manage or chase up payments. I didn't have to onboard anyone, didn't have to do sales, nothing. And so that's a pretty cool achievement to have done in less than 14 months of a business. And I am pretty proud of that. But yeah, I think passive income has to be active before it's passive. And I think that creating things where you can leverage your skill set or other people and help bring your clients better results with the support of other people and linking them together, I think is an incredible skill that we should all be learning in business, and something I teach my mentees quite often. Last one. So our business grew without me having to be there for 4 whole months. So including those 55 days I was out of my business, and also then with Swift Movement Academy, when we had our general manager, I literally was not, I think it was like an hour a week maybe with a meeting, and that was it. And our business still grew, which is pretty freaking cool. And in saying that, our whole business, both Swift Movement and Swift Coaches Academy, we had our biggest year yet. And last year was pretty bloody huge. We were over $500,000 last year by a fair amount. And this year we grew 31%. So I am pretty bloody proud of that, considering I spent the most time out of my business that I ever have. And in spite of, or potentially because of that, our business grew, which is very, very cool. And I'm super excited to speak to you guys a little bit about what's in store for 2024. I don't want to give too much away, but I do want to give you a bit of an overview of my thoughts of what will be happening. So I will absolutely be focusing on, from the lessons that I learned, building more and stronger relationships. I think that people are the hardest, but the best part of business. And that if we can create stronger relationships and make sure that we are doing our absolute best to go above and beyond for them, whether that is staff members or whether that is clients, I think that we will always win. And also creating strategic partnerships. So when I say that, I mean, let's say in the exercise rehab business, we now want to start offering nutrition services. So I find a nutritionist who is happy to come on board. We do an inclusive package. So their price is included in our price, and we'd obviously increase our price a little bit because now we offer nutrition as well. And then they would take a percentage split of all the hours or time face-to-face that they do, or if they sell someone into it, something like that. So that's really what I'm looking at doing a lot more in a bigger way in 2024, because I think that then we instantly can, double our leads in terms of each partnership. They'll bring people in, we'll bring people in, and it's creating mutual win-win. And it'll also mean that they're doing some of the time or some of the fulfillment or deliverable, which I'm super excited about. And yes, that will mean growing Swift Movement as well. We are going to be hiring another part-time coach. So we are on the lookout. If you are an exercise physiologist or potentially incredible sports scientist or physio, we are looking for our next hire. We are currently holding the fort with what we have, but we are bursting at the seams at the moment, and we absolutely need a new part-time coach, which I'm super excited to be on the lookout for. And there's also a strong possibility of in-person events for business and education mentoring. So this will potentially look, nothing sort of locked in yet, but this will potentially look like doing mentoring days or weekends or things like that in person, and really doing deep dives with that. So anyone in our mentorship program will get immediate access to any of this new stuff we create, but also in terms of the exercise education or business education, going into gyms and other facilities and putting on events and really helping people in a bigger way and reaching out to the community. So again, if anyone is interested in learning more about that, please hit me up on Instagram, Zenia Wood Official, and I would love to chat to you more about that. We'll also be streamlining the business. I feel like I mentioned before, we had a lot of bloat in the business and things got messy, and I feel like we were doing things sometimes for the sake of doing them, or tracking all of these metrics that maybe don't actually have any weight in what we're doing. I do think that a lot of health businesses don't track enough, but I feel like we kind of went the other way. Or we just went a little bit overboard with it, and not just bloat in terms of tracking metrics, but in terms of like how we're doing things, and not systemizing or automating programming and things that could absolutely be streamlined for better results for the client and less time for us as business owners. And then what else is in store for 2024? I am loving and going to go deeper on business mentoring. There's going to be so many more like micro courses, and our mentorship's going to just explode. We're going to be doing likely some sales training courses, some micro courses. Also, I mentioned before, teaching health professionals how to create scalable courses as well, and create something outside of their, core business where they're one-to-one, but creating something scalable, whether that be in person or online, but ideally a bit of a blend at least, or totally online, which is what I have been doing for the last 4 years. And I am ready to really teach this in a much bigger way to help health professionals who are potentially not actually looking to have a huge team, or don't necessarily want to have a clinic and have all these employees and all of the, I guess, headache that goes along with having a facility and all the overheads and things like that, and creating something that can be a lot more profitable and a lot more scalable. And that's really where my passion is at the minute, in terms of where I see the biggest opportunity. And I see that everyone has a course in them, everyone has a niche, everyone has something that they are capable of giving to the world. And also, when we follow the systems and the processes that I've already put in place, we're already going through with our mentees in terms of the course structure and selling it before you've created it, and how we go about getting leads for that, it is honestly a game changer. It's a streamlined process, and that is, I guess that is 2023 wrapped, and what's in store for 2024. I hope that you took something away from this, and I would love to hear from you if you maybe feel the same about, feeling a little lost this year. And hopefully by sharing this, you can relate to some of it. Or if you are feeling like, fuck this, let's go 2024. Like I'm sick of holding myself back, whether you had a great year or not. I think that, we all feel like we want to do more and we want to do better. And those are my people. So if you are one of those, and if you've been maybe sitting on the fence, or you're interested in just having a chat about what business mentoring could be like for you, then I would love to talk to you. And until then, we're going to be doing some more episodes that have a little bit more personal life thrown in the mix, and I'm open to suggestions with what you want to hear. But until then, have an incredible day and move swiftly. Just a quick reminder before you go, that link is waiting for you in the show notes if you are a health coach who is in business looking to grow or scale. We have options for both, and I am super excited to be working with a few individuals next year who are ready to take their business to the next level. If that sounds like you, chuck down and have a look at the show notes and you can apply through there, and I will talk to you one-on-one and we can figure out if this is right for you. I cannot wait to chat.
I have a tiny favor to ask of you, and that is to just hit that subscribe button if you have not done it yet. If you've made it this far, then I hope that this has been valuable for you and for us to get more incredible guests in front of your earlobes and faces. If you're watching us on YouTube, then please do that now. And if you have any feedback or suggestions for me, or something that was a golden nugget that really stood out to you in this episode, I would absolutely love if you flicked me a message over on Instagram at Zenia Wood Official. Until next episode, and in whatever you do, move swiftly.